Hi there everyone, Josiah here with Womprat Creations with another show and tell for you guys. This week I am bringing out something that I actually just finished building. I didn't film the making of it, I'm very sorry, but this is a shop infrastructure build. So like all of my other shop infrastructure builds, the 3D files for this will be available to my patrons on Patreon. If you haven't already, go check that out. But onto this. This is a organizer for my Dremel and all of the attachments that I have for my Dremel. Now, let's get one thing out of the way real quick. I know this is a terrible, ugly yellow color. There's a reason for that. When I was building this, this is made out of MDF because I used my CNC machine to cut out all of these pieces. My table saw was out of commission. Don't worry, we'll get into that another time, but this was made out of MDF. So I was trying to think of how to finish this, and I didn't want to stain it because I don't think MDF is really something that you should stain. So I was looking at my spray paints and I realized that I had this yellow spray paint that I used for the letters of this sign back here. It looks good on that, but I haven't used it for anything else because it's kind of an ugly yellow color. And I knew that if I didn't use it, it would just sit there forever and I would never throw it out. So I decided to just, once I saw it, I had the idea, I want this to be ugly. And so that's what I did. I chose to use the remainder of my yellow spray paint on this because I was okay with this being ugly. But that's the reason that it is this atrocious yellow color. Please forgive me. But I do really enjoy this. Now, I know right now you're just seeing a hideous yellow rectangle, but let's get into it. So, like I said, this is to organize and house my Dremel and all of its accessories. And this is a design that I thought was a little interesting, a little cool. It's not quite done yet, but again, we'll get into that a little later. Let's get into the actual storage capabilities of this. First off, I needed a place to put my Dremel. That is this, this drawer down here. It has my Dremel, its charger, a couple little accessories down here. There's not much in there except for the Dremel itself. But up here is where I have all of my accessories. Now you can see that I've left myself some room to grow here. I have a couple different platforms in here and even a drawer down here that houses all of my accessories and cutoff wheels and bits and everything. So yeah, I wanted to make something that would also allow me some room to grow, because as you can see right now I'm only using like 3 of these different platforms for storage. And that's because when I make a shop organizer for something like this, I don't want to limit myself to what I have at the moment, because I know that eventually I'm going to be picking up some more attachments, different attachments, stuff like that. So I wanted to leave myself some room for growth in this. So I made a couple extra platforms that aren't being used at the moment. But my thought process for these is I wanted something that would house all of my stuff, make it easy for me to see something, and I wanted it to be easy to grab the attachments. So what I did is I made these platforms removable so that if I was going to be using a couple different things, I could take the whole thing out, set it down next to what I'm working on, and then grab an attachment, use that, put it back, and then when I'm done I can put the whole platform back where it goes. Forgive me, I can't see as well as you guys can, but that was the thought process for this. So both of these are essentially the same thing. They're just MDF with holes drilled in it so that I can put different attachments into them. And then I have one forgive me again. I know I'm doing this an incredibly difficult way. All of these are essentially the same except for this one. This one down here is not removable because it's the bottom of this, and if it wasn't permanently attached, it would be really hard to take out. But I have just a couple different things in here, some polishing compound that I'll sometimes use with my Dremel, and stuff like that. So I wanted something that, I mean, this one doesn't need to be, it couldn't be removable, and that's why I made it more of an actual drawer with a raised side than these other ones. But this, what I am actually really excited about this, and I'm pleased with the way this came out and the way that it works. Now, I told you this isn't quite done yet, and that's because one of the things that I need to do is put a latch on the side here so that I can lock both of these shelving units together when it's closed. And I want to add a handle to the top so that I can have this over in its storage area when I need to use my Dremel, pick the whole thing up, bring it over, and then use it like that. So I am, like I said, I'm pretty pleased with the way this came out. It's not perfect, and yes, it is this god-awful yellow color, but I still really like it. I was having an issue with I wasn't using my Dremel as much as I should have because it was always a pain to hunt down the attachments or you know, just find exactly the tool that I needed. So I knew that I needed an answer to that, and this is what I came up with. But like I said, I am really pleased with the way this came out, even if it is this very ugly yellow color, but that's okay. Things can be ugly in the shop. Not everything needs to be nice and pretty, and I'm okay with a few things in the shop being ugly. But thank you guys for tuning in for another show and tell. Until next time, I'll see you guys later. Hey, if you enjoyed that video, consider checking us out on Patreon. Patreon is a great way to help support the channel directly, and it allows us to give you some cool stuff in return, like free 3D models of all of the shop infrastructure builds that I do. You can get free merch and a whole bunch of other really cool stuff. So go check it out. Thanks, guys.
517 to scanner control. 517 to scanner control. 316, report to control. 53 to upper bay door. 53 to upper bay door.